So, good evening, all of you. What we will do, I've had two sessions, and what we will do is we will attach one of the in the YouTube lecture. We will be attaching one, uh, you know, a, a link where you will get details of economics optional preparation. So we'll attach a link there. जो हमने पिछले दो वीडियोस में लिंक अटैच किया था ना, पुराने वीडियो का मेरा, वो अटैच कर देना इसमें. So we will attach a link for the video discussion. So don't worry, you will get a lot of detailed things. That's a 1.5 hour lecture where I'm discussing with you details on how you should prepare and what books to refer. If you're self-preparing also, that which books to prepare and use and so on. Even though, to be honest, I have a strong view that a single book doesn't help in this subject, and referring multiple books will have its own time consumption. Having said that, now how do we go for our economics optional strategy? So when we go for this, इससे मेरी शक्ल कैसे हटाऊं? आगे बढ़ जाए? Thank you. ठीक है. Okay. So when we go for the strategy, things first, I'm assuming that all of you have seen the mains question paper, as in the format. So you will have a paper 1 in economics. I'll quickly go through that, and as I said, the details will be there in the link we will give you. It's a YouTube video I had shot around 4 years ago, but the video still remains valid with respect to how you should prepare for economics optional. So you will get that. But we are more bothered today about letting you know some of the things I will be bringing in. So when we talk about economics optional, the first thing we should keep in mind, ये मुझे कलर शो नहीं कर रहा है, क्यों? ये यहाँ ये वाइट है. Just check. Let's see. So first things first, when we talk about preparing for optional, and then I will tell you about economic services and RBI grade B, how we will work on that for you. या फिर हम normal note 3 पे चले जाते हैं, वो भी ठीक है, if it suits. So when we prepare for economics optional, then first things first, you will need basic understanding of graphs, which you should have. If graphs are a problem, this optional is not for us. And linear graphs, you don't need curvilinear graphs, you need linear graphs. So if your graphs are done, thank you. So linear graphs is what we are interested in majorly. Now, so one thing needed for optional will be understanding linear graphs. You know, you will have the whole paper 1 is a talk on graphs and models. So you must know graphs analysis properly. At least you should have an aptitude to know that. As in, if the aptitude is missing, we are in trouble. There is no maths majorly. Sometimes people tell you this in the market, there's a lot of maths in economics optional. There is no maths in economics optional except for a small portion in micro, where you will have some maths coming in mark. But other than that, and that also we prepare you on that, so that is not a concern. Even if you have had maths till 10th standard, we prepare our students on that, so that is not a concern. But maths is only as much. Ideally, अगर ज़्यादा होता तो मैं ज़्यादा खुश होता, because maths ज़्यादा होने पे पक्का होता कि मैं आपके नंबर ज़्यादा ला सकता हूँ. But unfortunately, it's not there, and that's a sorry part. But anyways, so now another aptitude you need to know well is that you should have good enough interest in Indian economy. That's again important, you know, the discussions that happen. Say for example, these days they are discussing about whether India is unequal or not, you know, and that's a very moot point, because anybody saying India is not unequal will be definitely not an economics student. So that is one discussion that can be asked sometimes. Sometimes there can be, but then the good thing is syllabus is well defined. So there are particular things which you will always know what will be asked. Now I come to you to tell you some. So one is linear graphs, and second is Indian economy discussions. ये paper 1 के लिए बहुत जरूरी है. In paper 1 we'll do a lot of this, and this Indian economy is paper 2 anyways. So we should be people interested in knowing about Indian economy, discussions on Indian economy, how to go about, that should also be done. Okay, having said that, just to tell you what I was about to tell you, when you talk about economics as an optional, the first thing you will see in our paper 1 when we talk about paper 1, we have micro, macro. Well, the syllabus says advanced micro, advanced macro, but the question paper is not advanced. Advanced is something like economic services, what they ask you. This is normal. Micro and macro remain things. Undergraduate level is what you need to be taught. Nothing on postgraduate level majorly. Some topics of course you need to know, but nothing majorly. So micro, macro, then money banking and public economics, they are asked together, and then it is international economics, and then it is development economics. So this is paper 1 for you. And if we look at last 5 years paper, 10 years paper, 12 years paper in UPSC, they ask you 28 questions per year. I'll tell you why 28 questions. I'm sure you would have seen the format. So you have first question which is compulsory, and you have 5 questions within it, and then you will have questions 2, 3 and 4. This becomes your section A, and then you will have section B, where again 5th question is compulsory, A, B, C, D, E, and then you will have 6, 7 and 8. And these questions generally tend to have three subparts attached. So that has been the regular format of our optional paper that is being asked. So if you see 5 questions, 9, 14 questions, 5 questions, 9, 14 questions. So 28 questions they ask you every year. Of course, the format of answering is, this is compulsory, this is compulsory. Out of these 3 and out of these 3, you have to attempt any 3, but you will have to attempt at least 1 from each section. So that will mean you can attempt 2 here and 1 here, or you can attempt 2 here and 1 here. Alright. Also, till 2-3 years ago, they used to have a format in which they used to ask micro, macro and money in the first part, and public economics, international and development in the second part. But last 2-3 years they are not doing it. So we cannot guess, and I don't guess at all. So when I will be teaching you, I will be covering each and every line written in the syllabus plus the past year question papers, because sometimes they don't write it in the, like they have not mentioned general equilibrium in the syllabus, but they have asked questions on general equilibrium multiple times. So that gives us an insight as to, okay, how should we train you so that we make sure that you don't have to suffer after the training. So that is the key factor again, that one needs to keep in mind that we will be covering all the entire syllabus, the language inbuilt, plus whatever has been asked in past years and what can be asked based on that. Say for example, if they have asked me a question on Pareto optimality 1 year, then I can expect them to ask me first welfare theorem, second welfare theorem, or I can expect them to ask me a fair allocation. So I prepare you on all that then, because then I don't take a chance. Who knows if tomorrow they go that side. I don't want you to have good feelings about me during the exam hall. So it's important you should be well prepared. Now, other than that, if you look at number of numericals asked, well, it's been very sporadic. So there have been years in which they have asked 1 numerical here, 1 there. Like last year they asked a numerical on an ISLM model from macro. Year before that there was a numerical on international economics. But then 2 years till I mean 24 and 23 and 24 I am saying. But 22 and 21 there was hardly any numerical that they were putting for you. And 20 again there were numerical in the paper. So there will be 1 numerical normally that they ask you, normally, again it is not necessary, but normally, and that numerical is in the choice option, which I would suggest you should choose, unless the numerical is not a very tedious one. Like in 2023, the numerical that they had asked was a simple one, but very lengthy one. So again, those things I will teach you in the class, but that is the way you should think about preparing and choosing questions. Again, with practice tests and all, I will be coming to that in a while. I will tell you how we will prepare you on that part, but right now I'm giving you an insight in this. So ideally speaking, this will be taking us something like 70 classes, 75 classes at least to get over with. Alright, that is what it takes us, because around 30 classes we provide for micro, because micro is a fundamental thing. Unless you don't understand micro, you don't get economics. So around 28 to 30 classes we do on micro, and then another 12-13 classes we do on macro. This is thankfully simpler, so we get over with it in approximately 12 odd classes, and these two again take 12-15 classes each, so around 70 to 80 classes, depending on how the class shapes up and how discussions can be done. We do that. And those discussions, again I repeat, will include past year papers, syllabus, plus I give you writing practice at the end of each week. जैसे हमने एक वीक में एक टॉपिक खत्म किया, उस टॉपिक के बेसिस पे I'll give you 2 questions to write. So you write to those 2 questions, give your answers, and then I will give you the model answer at the end of the week. Like next day after the week, I give you the model answer on it. So we will develop it like that you write the answer, then you take the model answer. Also from your batch, what we are developing is a mentorship idea where we will give you a workbook, and that workbook will have questions, of course, not answers. And you have to go through that first, and then we will give you the answer to those questions, model answers, class discussions as to how you should have attempted it. The major idea is to make sure you learn how to write. You understand that? Other than that, the other idea is to prepare you. See, basic things we will prepare you in any case. But this, now in the last couple of years, I have been trying that we should prepare you also on assured method of writing answers in the exam hall on even topics which are relatively a little arcane, topics which are not very often asked, but who knows, once in 5 years they just might appear. So I'm trying to make sure that even those are answered by you. Anyways, that is one. In these, when paper 1, there will be several standard books that you will see in the market. If you are with me, you just have to make sure you do the class notes and you do the material I give you. Nothing more will be needed, and I'm saying it with all honesty and all responsibility. Thankfully, with God's grace, I've had more than 10-12 people qualifying at least every year from my classroom students. So I keep taking their feedback that how much did you study and what else did you do, and majorly what I get from them is they say that, sir, we didn't have enough time, so we did the class notes and we did the test series and so on, and we got it through. So the test series will be the key also, because I teach you many things here and then I teach you many things in the test series. Test series is of course attached to the course. It will be free along with the course. You can write that. Now second paper, when we see that, again the format is same, but the second paper, paper 2, you will have Indian economy before 1947. This is relatively easier but lesser part of the syllabus. Indian economy before 1947. 25% to 30% questions from this part, maximum maybe 20% generally speaking. And then you have Indian economy between 1947 to 1991. So this is our first part, this is our second part. Again, you will see approximately 25% to 30% questions from over here. So 50-55% questions will be from here. And then you have Indian economy after 1991, which is approximately 40% to 45% of the paper. Now again few things I am answering. अब तुम्हारे दिमाग में हो सकती हैं, इसीलिए मैं जवाब दे रहा हूं. First thing is that people will tell you economy is a very dynamic subject. Well, first of all, in paper 1, people who gave theories, most of them are dead and buried now, so they can't come back and change the theory. So dynamism is as much. Similarly, in paper 2, when it comes to India before 47, well, we can't go back in time zone. We don't have the magical rings like Thanos had, and we can't change it. Same thing applies in India before 91. So these things don't change. This will change, of course, but this will also change in the recent events. Again, India from 91 to 2024 cannot change. 25, 26 might change. But what is dynamic? Well, the dynamism part applies on every optional paper, any optional except mathematics. Now what is an engineering optionals? But what is the dynamism there? The dynamism is which questions become relevant in which year. And that is why I keep test series every year free for my students who qualified prelims. I mean, first year it will be free for all of you. अगले साल 26 का test series is free for everybody joining the course right now. But even after that, whichever year you are qualifying prelims, and you have been my student, I give you the free test series. That I always do, because the basic idea is to make sure we give you enough support so that you can qualify well. Anyways, so that is another thing, that dynamism is how the questions will be asked. For example, if there is a lot of talk about tariff this year, then say with Trump doing his own, things. So this year, even in paper one can expect somebody asking you a question on effective rate of tariff, somebody can, or effective rate of protection. Somebody can ask you a question on role of tariff in protectionism. Somebody can ask you an offer curve, and international economics ask you to draw, offer curves with tariffs involved. So since tariff is a talk, so it's a possibility that even in paper one a question can come from tariff. Since renewable energy is a talk, it is possible that even in paper one somebody from development economics can ask you the role of renewable energy in development. Since say war has been a talk, somebody can ask you the role of defense industry in development of an economy. In paper 2 somebody can ask you the steps taken by India to promote defense manufacturing in India. You understand that? That is the dynamic part. Dynamic doesn't mean that it has to be changing every year in the context of content. Dynamic has to be what is it that you prepare that year that should give you good, and again I'll give you that support completely, and we will make sure that you understand things correctly before your mains examination. In any case, what I do again every year, this year also I've done it, that I formulate a group of all mains writing students of mine, and then I keep participating in it, I keep uploading articles on that, I keep making sure that you are updated. Even when the batch gets over, I keep uploading articles on the Telegram group that have been formed with you, so that you keep reading those articles, updating yourself. Plus, here, then just to tell you how I go about here, we keep around 4 to 5 classes here, because as I said, thankfully, this is a set of 20 questions, which I have mastered. So I know what they will ask you in this place. Of course I don't know what they will ask you this year, but I know that what is the set from which they can ask you. So those 20-25 questions, they take 4 or 5 classes, we can finish it here. Majorly what I do is I finish it with the test series, because I include those questions with tests and then give you the writing practice. You write that and I explain the concept to you, like say drain of wealth or role of railways or commercialization of agriculture, etc. I mean, they're particular topics, we do that. This part again, we give around 12 to 15 classes to this, because this is again predictable. This is not something that takes a lot of effort. It's about agriculture in India till 91, industry in India till 91, poverty in India till 91, export-import policy of India 91, taxation policy of India till 91, that ways, so we will do a structural analysis, we do that. In fact, when I start teaching you, I begin here with Indian economy between 47 and 91. I have a reason for that. In that case, it gives you enough time, especially those of you who don't have an economics background, to start revising your NCERT and revise it quickly, and allows me to make a good rapport with you. Then by the time I start micro, we know each other. I know that what will my class understand, what will it not understand. So I begin with Indian economy between 47 and 91. Plus it allows me that when I am teaching you micro and macro, I can correlate that micro macro to the real events that have happened in India. So that is why I begin here, Indian economy between 47 and 91. Then I get into micro, macro, money banking, public economics, international development. And after doing that, then I come to India after 91. You understand that? That is how we will be finishing it. And then finally India before 47. So that is how we will be majorly doing it. Also remember, another thing I told about, so maths is not a major thing asked in economics for optional, and dynamism is more in questions rather than in the subject itself. Another thing that people will sometimes tell you is that syllabus is very lengthy. Again, if you have to master optional, the syllabus has to be long enough. But again, how do we tackle a long syllabus? We tackle a long syllabus by making sure that we do things pinpointed, what is asked more often, more times. Like what I do is, whatever is more asked, I do that first with you and cover you up entirely. So 80%, 85% things get covered, 80% things at least get covered. And whatever is a little random, maybe sporadic, I put it in the test series, or sometimes I put it in the workbook, and we discuss that so that those 20% get covered in that manner, and you're not left with anything in the syllabus. But you also know that the focus has to be this 80%. That is what we need to cover by. So it's not a lengthy syllabus, but it's a syllabus which will desire diligence. Diligence, because economics is a subject where you have to be conscious while listening to the to the professor so that you get things internalized, inculcated. Once you have seen what is the best part about our subject, you don't have to mug up anything. I'm coming to that, one more thing that will come up from here, but you don't have to mug up anything. तुम्हें रटना नहीं है कुछ भी, क्योंकि ग्राफ है, अंग्रेजी तुम लिख ही लोगे, तो ग्राफ समझना है बस तुम्हें. If you understand graphs, that's done. You don't have to do anything after that. Another good thing in our subject is there is no role for thoughts. You know, ये वाले आदमी ने ये बोला, but दूसरे ने ऐसा बोल दिया, तीसरे फिर बोले नहीं ये दोनों बातें गलत हैं. There's nothing like that in our subject. We do even paper 2 quite objectively. If somebody is asking you a question, critically analyze the role of Green Revolution in development of India, you can't give your own role. You can't say नहीं मुझे लगता है Green Revolution तो हुआ ही नहीं था शायद, कुछ और ही हुआ था. You know, you can't do that. It's a factual thing, objectively defined. There will be 6 points saying how Green Revolution was good. There are say 5-6 points saying how it was not so good, and then 5-6 points suggesting how we can make it better. You understand that? So if you remember those points in your mind, points again, you can elaborate, write your 150 word answer, 250 word answer, you are done. So that way I believe it's a syllabus where first time you have to work a little hard because you have to know everything, but once you have known things, you don't work hard on that, then it just remains in the mind. कुछ लोग आपको डराएंगे, डेटा बहुत याद करना पड़ता है. अब ये बहुत सब्जेक्टिव बात है कि डेटा बहुत याद करना पड़ता है. बताता हूं क्यों. सबसे पहली बात, again in paper 1 you don't need many data, even though you will need few in the development theory aspect and international economics, but not much. But paper 2 when it comes to data, actually you don't have to remember pinpointed decimal numbers. You have to remember the trend. What happened first? How much was the growth at that time period? So we will give you a piece of paper which will have those trends. You just have to make sure that those trends and that piece of paper is continuously revised. Once you have revised it, the trends are with you, you will be able to write your answers. So you don't have to mug up a lot of data. Again, you have to internalize it. जैसे अगर आप आंसर लिख रहे हैं, Indian economy between 1980 to 1990, unless you will not remember the numbers there, how do you corroborate your answer? And that ways every subject will have one technicality or the other. So there is not multiple data, there is a very well defined set of data, but that data has to be understood and reproduced, which we will teach you how to do it, but that's not a tough link. Sometimes people also, and you know, most of the data, if you remember, it doesn't even change because you know the trend as it has been followed. Another thing said about economics is that people don't score marks in it. Lie. Even this year a person got 335, and I know the fellow but won't disclose the name because unka hua nahi finally to wo bahut perturbed hai. But then there are people who have scored 296, 287, 294, 291 and so on. So it's not that it's not a scoring subject. In fact, I believe it's the most scoring subject among humanities subject because it's more like a science subject because you draw graphs, get your marks. People have scored as high as 160, 162 in paper 1. One person got even 173 in paper 2. So it's about whether you are writing it correctly. Again, that's our job to guide you that you should write things correctly, but whether you are writing it correctly. And that is why my insistence on answer writing practice. That एक है कि तुम चीजें पढ़ लोगे, याद कर लोगे, but जब तक खुद से 10 बार 20 बार लिखोगे नहीं, तब तक वो चीज याद नहीं होगी और reproduce नहीं होगा on the paper. You know, so that is about another thing. One more thing I see online, one of your friend asks me that if I don't have an economics background, can I opt for it? As I said, if you understand graphs and if you are okay with Indian economy discussion, anybody can opt for economics optional. That's not a challenge at all. And another online question I see is that you talk about PDF notes and I'm sorry, about the notes. So how will the online students get it? The PDF will be uploaded online for all the students who will be taking the class, and you will be allowed to download that PDF also. So you will get accessibility to all notes, workbook, all discussions with the PDF online. So that is again not a concern. Another thing is when you are looking for economics, the important thing is it helps you in GS paper 3 because you don't have to prepare anything for GS paper 3 once you have prepared your economics optional. Paper 2 of economics optional is more than sufficient for GS paper 3. When I teach you every topic that economics GS paper 3 needs along with the writing practice, so you will not have to take any extra effort for GS paper 3. Also, when you write essays, when you solve even GS paper 2, governance, GS paper 1, social issues, economics optional gives you a very good perspective to write your answer. So whether it is GS or optional, you're comparatively better off. I'm just giving you the hindsight. एक बार आपको खबर रहती है कि क्या पढ़ना है, कैसे पढ़ना है, हम थोड़ा clear रहते हैं. For apart from optional, we will also be covering with you Indian Economic Services, all the 4 papers, entirely again. We will not be leaving anything, we'll cover everything. There will be a separate test series for people who will appear Indian Economic Services. That test series will begin sometimes around February first week, January end, and will go on till May. And we will have 8 tests in the Indian Economic Services test series, two tests for each paper. But each and every part of the syllabus will be covered with you. How do we do that? So 80% of the syllabus of IEES converges with optional. So that we will do together. But then there are topics in IES that don't converge with optional. Say for example, econometrics or environment or mathematical micro or mathematical economics per se, or things related to particular models like physiocrats and all. So we will have separate classes on that to train you, which will not be required for optional students. So how will we go about covering it? We will first do the combined course together. By around in your batch, by December end, I should be able to finish the course. And January, we will begin with the IES extra classes for econometrics and environment and statistics and so on. So those classes will be around 30-35 classes. We will be covering you on things entirely, mathematical micro, mathematical economics, everything. So we will be covering you on everything across on IES also, RBI, grade B, DEPR also. You don't have to do anything else. I have got feedback from my students that the notes are sufficient for even CUET exams and for the UGC NET exams. So you don't have to even bother about those. You will be able to cover things up. But my main focus is economic services, RBI grade B and optional. Apart from that, for CUET, we will give you certain workbooks to, book questions to solve, but that is something I will, if somebody is appearing among you, you can approach me and I will guide you how to go about it. You will be able to do it. So again, my suggestion is that, my purpose of actually is that you should not need too many tuitions. However, for optional, there will be around 115 to 120 classes, which we will begin from 24th July and get over by around 24th December, maybe add another 5 days, 29, 30th December. That is what is in my mind. But again, it will depend on how the class shapes up, how is our training going on. If it needs me to take another 10 classes, I don't hesitate. I make sure that more classes are not a problem, but you should be prepared as good as possible with answer writing, understanding, all that is important. So we will prepare you thoroughly on each and every part. Economic services classes and RBI DEPR classes will be after that. As I said, 1 more month and you will be done. So by mid-February, I am planning, I should be over with even the IES course with you. But optional, I'm trying, because earlier batches I used to take 21 classes in a month, giving you off on Saturday and Sunday. In your batch, I'm not planning to give you an off on Saturday this time. I'll give you an off on Sunday, but we'll try doing 23, 24 classes in a month. So if we do 23 odd classes in a month, considering I take 120 classes, I should be able to finish it by around 25th December. And that is in my mind right now. And when it's in my mind, I will execute it. So don't worry. वो मेरे दिमाग में जब घुसता है तो मैं रहता ही है कि उसको खत्म तो करना ही है मुझे. By any means, I got to finish it. So by 25th December, because I know that those of you who will be appearing civil services will not be able to attend classes very diligently after January odd. So by January end, I want to finish with even or maybe first week February, even the economic services classes. If you are appearing only economic services, then we will support you with GS and English classes also. We will give you recorded material on GS as well as English. So if you are appearing economic services only and you don't take any GS classes anywhere and you want a GS support, we will give that to our students in economic services. So be okay with that. You don't have to bother about any other place to study GS and English for economic services. Another thing is वर्कबुक कंसेप्ट ये है विनायक कि आपको प्रैक्टिस के लिए ज्यादा चीजें देंगे, तो जितना आप प्रैक्टिस करेंगे उतना बेहतर होंगे. तो हर टॉपिक के बाद वर्कबुक के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करेंगे. दूसरी बात, एक और चीज मैं आपके एक दोस्त पूछ रहे हैं ऑनलाइन, दैट आई एम ब्रिंगिंग इट फॉर प्रीवियस बैच स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो शिवानी विद अ स्मॉल फी टू रिकवर द कॉस्ट, बट देयर विल बी फॉर प्रीवियस स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो. You can rely on class notes and handouts completely, Ayush. Nothing else will be needed. Okay, I'm asked one more question, that if my attempt is 2027, how will I update myself? As I just told you, your attempt can be any time, because remember, God willing, तुम्हें एक ही attempt लगे, but उसकी कोई guarantee नहीं है. My support for you is perpetual. I create the Telegram group, I never exit it. I have not even exited the Google groups I formed 12-13 years ago. In those days there was no Telegram, there was no WhatsApp. तो हम लोग गूगल पे ग्रुप बना लेते थे, मैंने उसको भी एग्जिट नहीं किया है. मैं वहां आज भी हूं, जबकि मैं जानता हूं उसके जो स्टूडेंट अब तो कुछ कुछ और कर रहे होंगे जीवन में, बट स्टिल आई हैव नॉट एग्जिटेड. आई बिलीव दैट आई विल कीप गिविंग यू द सपोर्ट and I'll be there. Plus, I will update you with, that's what I was coming to. So, this will be 25, I mean, this will be around, 12 to 15 classes. This will take us approximately 20 classes, plus economics survey. I hope some of you would have seen me teaching economics survey on YouTube. I do that every year, but majorly the idea is to teach my students economics survey. So, we will have classes on economics survey and we will have classes on budget. So add that to India after 91 also. These classes become a part of that. So effectively there are 30-35 classes for India after 91, but this we do on YouTube. So in that case you are safe. This will remain forever. So अगर तुम उस वक्त नहीं भी कर पाए तो बाद में देख सकते हो. These 20 classes of course we will do. So effectively what I am suggesting is we will have around 45-50 classes, 55 classes for paper 2. But out of that 10-15 are on YouTube and are approximately 75 odd classes for paper 1. That's why I said 120-125 classes is what I do with you over the period. And as I said, if more classes are needed, I am happy taking them. I never say a no. अगर कुछ ऐड हो गया, कोई सब्जेक्ट में ऐड करना पड़ा, वो सब अपडेशन में आपको देता रहूंगा. एक बार आपका बैच खत्म भी हो जाता है तो भी जितनी चीजें अपडेशंस होती हैं मैं आपसे शेयर करता रहता हूं. फॉर एग्जांपल इंडिया यूके एफटीए. So India UK FTA I share with my students even from the previous batch as I make a compilation on it. If we add something in the current batch, some new resource, some new result, I share it with all the batches. So don't worry, once we are covered, we will still keep sharing things with you. Plus, I give complete accessibility to you. So you want to correct get some paper corrected. You want to answer some question, I'm happily answering it. Ask some question, I'll be happy answering that. Comes another thing. When you prepare for economics optional, the basic idea should be just make sure that you have done the same stuff multiple times. So if you do say my notes and my printed notes and the previous year papers, do it once, do it twice, do it thrice. So by the time you're doing it the second, third time, you are fit enough. Now how will you do it? How do we make you do it thrice or 4 times? That is why where the test series comes in. So we will give you the test series starting approximately June, depending on how the prelims and mains are shaped up, but approximately around June first week, and that goes for 2 months. So we plan it like this. There will be first test on micro and macro, second on international economics and development theory, third on money banking public economics and India between 47 and 91, and fourth on India before 47, India after 91. So 4 sectional tests I give you, and then 4 full length tests, paper 1, paper 2, and then paper 1 and paper 2 test on the same day, so that you can practice how to write for mains. वो एक ही दिन में paper 1 सुबह होगा, दिन में paper 2 होगा. आप लिख के देखेंगे कि कितना अच्छा फील होता है जब एक दिन में 6 घंटे लिखना पड़ता है. Because mains में 3 दिन में 18 घंटे लिखोगे तो वो practice होनी चाहिए. That how we should be writing things. So we will give you all that practice. Now what will it do? You will revise sectionally once, then you will revise full length test once, and then you revise the second full length test. That's 3 revisions. Plus in the class, as I told you, after finishing each week, I'll give you practice questions. You write them, revise them, I will write the model answer, that's another thing. Plus what we will be doing when you finish micro, say for example, we will take a sectional test of micro. Macro, we take a sectional test of macro, and we evaluate the paper, give it to you, telling you what you should have done right, what you should have done correctly, and so on. So we give you enough writing practice, because as I told you, end of the day the whole idea is as much you write, better off you become. So by the time we are finishing, we'll be good enough on that. Material, again I repeat, I will be giving you close to around 700-800 pages of written material जो आप क्लास में लिखेंगे, क्योंकि हर क्लास में मैं आपको कुछ 5-6 पेजेस तो मिनिमम लिखवा देता हूँ, कभी कभी 7 भी. So if you are writing say approximately 6 pages in a class, you will end up writing around 700 pages over 120 odd classes, and then there will be around another 700-800 pages of the material that I will give you. So these 1500 pages are your Gita, Quran, Bible for economics. You will sit down and you will make sure you revise them multiple times, and you are thorough with that. Of course, in these 1500 pages, then I start guiding you how to approach them, how to control the number of sheets you have to study, which part to focus more on, which part to focus less on, so on and so forth. So that guidance, of course, is something we will keep giving you. Mentorship is also meant for that. That's another question that I get from sometimes from you, that we are yes Arun, IES seats are declining, but तुम्हें तो एक ही चाहिए ना, तो चिंता मत करना, बस तुम लगे रहना अच्छे से, and we will help you writing practice and all, and you will be able to qualify good enough. Optional class and notes will be sufficient for GS Vaishnavi. You don't have to do anything else apart from that. Then another thing is, I'm asked that this optional needs time for revision, won't it reduce time for GS? Which optional doesn't need time for revision and you score well? I would love to know that. It's a misnomer. 2000 लोग जब एक ऑप्शनल देते हैं तो उससे 200 क्वालिफाई करते हैं, जब 200 लोग देते हैं तो 20 क्वालिफाई करते हैं. तो ये मत समझिए कि ऑप्शनल से कम क्वालिफाई कर रहे हैं, लोग ही कम अपीयर कर रहे हैं उस ऑप्शनल से. You understand that? So if less people are appearing, if you look at the percentage of qualification, well, economics has 11% qualification, which is in double digits. Apart from certain literature subjects, you don't have any other subject with double digit qualification. So percentage terms, economics makes you qualify much better as compared to other subject. Another is, sometimes people say, कल भी मैं किसी का ये आंसर कर रहा था ऑनलाइन और उनको समझाने की कोशिश की, आई होप वो समझे भी होंगे, that I am not from a very big university or good university, will I be able to qualify? Well, that makes no difference which university you come from. In this exam, it's finally about what did you do in the next 2 years, which will decide whether you qualify or not. So, which university you come from, if that would have mattered, then everybody from particular university should have been qualifying. Those days are not anymore there in UPSC. तुम यहाँ बैठ के क्या करोगे वो मैटर करेगा. जब मैं तुम्हें पढ़ाता हूँ तो मैं ये मान के पढ़ाता हूँ that everybody has done 11th and 12th NCERT. Other than that, I believe I am the first person teaching you economics, and I teach you from the first principles, getting into all depth, all details, explanation. So I am only assuming 11th and 12th NCERT has been done by everybody in the class. वो जरूर कर लो. If you are from a BCom background, if you are from BA program background, if you are from economics honors background, in any case you have done those NCERTs, you have the basic idea of elasticity or cost curves or production functions, so that is not a challenge at all. But those of you who are from a maths background or engineering background or other technical backgrounds, you may need those revisions. So that is where I suggest 11th, 12th NCERT you must do before you start this, or maybe when you start this. Either way, जब क्लास शुरू भी हो जाए तो भी 11th, 12th की NCERT जरूर पढ़नी चाहिए. तुम अपने आप इन सिंक्रोनाइजेशन रहोगे, बाकी चीजें मैं ही पढ़ाता हूँ जिस तरह से भी करना है. सबसे पहले किसी भी हालत में हमें यह सोच के डर के मारे ये सब्जेक्ट नहीं लेना है कि मेरा तो नहीं ही होगा. Every year people qualify. In fact, to be honest, till last year and even this year, the first two seminars, I did not share the results with you. This time I deliberately shared the results with you to tell you that so many people qualify. So you don't have to bother about whether people will qualify or not. And these are results only of last 3 years. If I had added another 2 years to it, another 30 names would have gotten added. So every year 15-17 people are making it with economics very easily, who are my students. Now there will be 3-4 more who have not been my students. So every year people are making it. You just have to make sure you sit down, bend your back and do things as I tell you. Economics optional में मैं बस आपको पक्का कह सकता हूँ, उतना कर लीजिए जितना मैंने किया है और कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा आपको. With all humbleness and with all responsibility I can tell you that. So focus like that. Now I open it up for you. When you guys have question, you can ask me and then I will have a couple of more things to tell you. Yes, the online batch students will also get the benefit of hearing the class discussion because the classes will go on live, and you will also have material along with the class discussion. No, Raghav, unfortunately that is not possible. Class tests will be designed for online students where we will give you a place where you can submit your answers and we will correct it and send it back to you. Telegram group will be made from 25th July, Neha. we are beginning with the batch on 24th July. You will get a link as you take admission, and you can join the Telegram group. If by chance you don't, you can send it to me and we will include you in the Telegram group. Don't worry. Also, apart from me, I have people who will mentor you. So there are people who assist me. Two of them are sitting here at the back, Anand Rupa and Deepthi. So there are people who assist me. They're good enough people. I select them after a lot of diligence. They don't get selected so easily. So after interviewing close to 50-60 people, then I choose one among them whom I feel, and they generally tend to be my students, so they know my method of teaching. But my idea is that if by chance you have a doubt and by chance I'm in a class and you want it immediately solved, then Anand Rupa ma'am, Deepthi ma'am, Devpreet sir is there. He's not here right now, but he is there. He will also take your doubts. Sandeep sir is there. So we have group of 3-4 people who will help you in case for a second if I am in a class I am unable to reply, and so on. So we have made that group to make sure that you remain fully covered before exam, during exam, and so on. You have any questions, you begin asking. Then I had a couple of more points to tell you, but monologues bore me. So I think you should be talking apart from me talking. आपके मन में कोई सवाल ववाल है तो पूछिए. आपके ऑनलाइन मित्र तो जम के, मैं यही देखता हूं तुम लोग ऑनलाइन रहते हो, बहुत अच्छे अच्छे सवाल पूछते हो. ऑफलाइन तुम शांत होकर बैठे रहते हो, हम शरीफ बच्चे. ऑनलाइन तो लिख के भेज दो, अपना नाम 1 2 3 जिग्नेश भी रखते हो. एनीवेज, शशांक, if you have done micro economics, do macro also, and then Indian economy. But micro, if you have done, you are fit enough. Don't worry, that's good enough for beginning of the part of the course. Yeah. Anything you want to ask? कुछ भी आपके मन में डाउट आता है? Current affairs we will cover you. So we will cover you with the class discussion. देखो, एक मेरे स्टूडेंट हैं, IPS हैं, अब शुभम मीना नाम है, अभी फिर इस साल एग्जाम दे रहे हैं IES बनने के लिए. उन्होंने एक बात कही थी बहुत अच्छी, मुझे बड़ी अच्छी लगी उनकी ये बात. उन्होंने कहा, सर जब आपसे क्लास में बात करते हैं पेपर 1 पढ़ाते हुए तो वो पेपर 2 बोल रहे होते हैं. तो वो मैं तुम्हें अपडेट वैसे ही करता रहता हूँ. When I'm teaching you paper 1, some particular model comes up, connected to that, something has happening in current, I update you. Other than that, we keep updating you on the Telegram group with more and more material. Other than that, we keep taking Zoom sessions to update you, so that, because you know, those Zoom sessions again are, the basic idea is that those Zoom sessions are to guide you how you should approach things. One more question I unfortunately missed online, that is which newspaper to read. Well, keep reading one newspaper, preferably Indian Express. Other than that, for economics, you don't need any newspaper. I'll take care of things. मैं आपसे क्लास में बहुत सारी डिस्कशंस करता हूँ इकोनॉमिक्स से रिलेटेड. आप साइड में एक कॉलम बनाएंगे ऐसे और वहां सब लिखते जाएंगे. Even for offline students, the videos are available for 3 days. अगर बाई चांस तुम उस वक्त नहीं भी लिख पाए, टाइम स्टैम्प मार्क कर लेना और घर पे लिख लेना उसे. That ये बातें कही थी इन्होंने क्लास में, इसको लिख लेते हैं. They will make a lot of sense to you later. When you are appearing मेंस एग्जाम, शुरू में तुम्हें नहीं समझ आएगा ये सब बातें मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ, लिख लेना भरोसा करके. जब तुम IES का एग्जाम लिखोगे या मेंस एग्जाम लिखोगे तो समझ आएगा, अच्छा इसीलिए बोलता था ये बातें, अब समझ में आ रही है बात मेरे. पर तब तक के लिए लिख लेना. सो आई विल कीप यू अपडेटेड. साथ में जो इकोनॉमिक सर्वे है या बजट है, मैं यूट्यूब पे करता ही इसलिए हूँ सो दैट इवन माई पास्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट्स कैन हैव access to it. From this year I am starting one more thing. I will be initiating it in another 2-3 weeks, that there will be a specific program we will be doing on Next IAS app, not for everyone, for my students, on current affairs in economics. So we will be discussing things like, जैसे अभी अगर टैरिफ चर्चा में है या कभी यूनिफॉर्म पेंशन स्कीम चर्चा में है, so we'll pick up a 15 minutes discussion, 20 minutes discussion and discuss with you online through a method how to go about it. Alright, साथ में GS पेपर 3 के हिसाब से I give you accessibility to all my current affair discussions, to all my optional students, whether they are a GS student of Next IAS or not. तो तुम Next IAS पे GS कर रहे हो या नहीं, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. मेरे optional के current affairs की जितनी क्लास होती हैं, before mains, before prelims, I give you accessibility to that practically on a regular basis. So you will get accessibility. Don't worry. वो headache मैं ले लेता हूँ, उसकी चिंता मत करना. क्योंकि एक्चुअली करंट अफेयर उतना नहीं है जितना स्टैटिक को बार बार पढ़ने की और प्रैक्टिस करने की और उसको समझने की जरूरत है. जैसे कोचिंग की क्या जरूरत है, पहले ऐसे ही सोचे, मेरा भी टाइम कीमती है, आपका भी है. मुझे देख के नहीं लगता होगा बट बिलीव करिए है, मेरा भी टाइम कीमती, तो आपका भी कीमती है. तो ऐसा क्यों ना करें कि रिकॉर्डिंग कर लें, आपको वो रिकॉर्डिंग दे दें और आप रिकॉर्डिंग देख लीजिए, मैं भी मस्त आप भी मस्त, आपसे कुछ 500-700 रुपए ले लें. बट वो इसलिए नहीं करता क्योंकि वो रिकॉर्डिंग आपको कोर्स करवा देगी बट मेंटोरशिप नहीं करवा पाएगी. Which questions to ask more, which part of the syllabus to stress more, where to be more diligent in answer writing, that you get when you get accessibility to the teacher. That's very important. because that makes a difference between 280 and 240, 235. So if I actually wanted 280, and आप मेरे पिछले स्टूडेंट से कभी बात करके देख लीजिएगा, I will never say a no to accessibility part. मैं कभी ना नहीं बोलता कि तुम ये सवाल मुझे नहीं पूछ सकते या मुझसे मिलने नहीं आ सकते. उल्टा तुम लोग नहीं मिलने आ रहे होते तो मुझे चिंता होने लगती है कि पढ़ भी रहे हैं नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं क्या हालत है. So you will always see me here saying a yes to that, but that's important that accessibility to the teacher, mentorship programs, answer writing programs. Even I see sometimes people joining test series thinking test series se ho jayega kam, but test series does what? That we are giving you a set of questions, then we are giving you a set of answers to that, but again it is not where I'm training you into writing that answer. So training you into writing that answer is what we do along with the class sitting here. क्लास के बाद जब तुम मुझे मिलते हो या ऑनलाइन वाले जब जूम पे मिलते हैं, क्लास के पहले जब तुम मुझे मिलते हो, वहां जो 10 डिस्कशंस. अभी एक और स्टूडेंट है मेरी, वो IAS बन गई लास्ट ईयर अगेन, अनुष्का. उन्होंने एक बड़ी अच्छी बात उन्होंने भी कही थी. उन्होंने कहा सर क्लास के बाद आकर आपसे डाउट पूछते थे, आपने जवाब दे दिया, हमारी डिस्कशंस होती थी. इंटरव्यू में जब पूछना उन्होंने शुरू किया तो वही सारी बातें पूछ रहे थे, मैंने सब आपका बोला हुआ चिपका दिया वहां. यही उनका लैंग्वेज था. बोले मुझे बहुत अच्छे नंबर भी दे दिए. The point I'm making is, again, those things matter a lot, because end of the day, this exam is not about only finishing the syllabus. It's not an undergraduate or postgraduate exam. This exam is more about mentoring you every year, every moment sometimes, to make sure how good you are prepared. Whether economic services, whether UPSC optional, whether RBI grade B, you need to be mentored. And that job we will do as good as possible, that we mentor you. Otherwise, as I said, the time is costly for all of us. Take a video and enjoy life. But those videos don't mentor you. Those videos give you the syllabus. Okay, syllabus हो गया आपको, वो मैं दे सकता हूँ आपको वीडियो देके, लेकिन मैं आपको mentor नहीं कर पाऊंगा. और मैं देखता हूँ क्वालिफाई वही बच्चे करते हैं जो mentored हैं. Otherwise दिक्कत होती है उनको क्वालिफाई करने में, one way or the other. Yes, there was something else. आपके जो मन में आ रहा है आप पूछ सकते हैं, बिना झिझके बिना डरे. मैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को कभी नहीं कहता ये खराब सवाल है, मतलब मैं चैलेंज नहीं दे रहा हूं, कहता नहीं हूं. वैसे कभी नहीं कहते सर मैं आज निकलवाता हूं आपसे. And one more thing, if 27 is your attempt, even then this is the right time to start preparing, because you will have a very good chance of writing your test series, finishing everything and winding up by 26 July, August, September, so that then you can focus only on your GS exam, GS part. If 26 is your attempt, then surely go for it. And we generally teach you with the process where, as I said, we'll try finishing it by December, and we will do the revision between prelims and mains. So for economics, we will prepare you entirely. I mean, that you don't have to worry about at all. But this will be the basic format. There can be a +5 classes to some part, especially India after 91, if more things happen. And do not miss by any means the discussion on economic survey and the test series. Do not miss, it's very important. Along with the workbook I will introduce and the mentorship along with the workbook. वो solve करते रहो, तुम्हारे 90% problem वैसे ही solve हो जाएंगे. Yes, this foundational course is beneficial for RBI grade B and CUET too. You don't have to take any other coaching. Raghav, I am answering your question. You can bring your notes to me. Tars, I am answering your question. Bring your notes to me and we can do that. Ronit, the registration link has been floated. You can check on that. You can access it 2 times the lecture time. So if 2.5 hours is the lecture time, 5 hours you can get another access online. Zai, I am answering your question. No, you don't need to follow any newspaper per se, but do read Indian Express, Avishkar. It will help you. That will help you. परफेक्ट शुभम, ये तो मिलने पे बताऊंगा तुम्हें. शुभम पूछ रहे हैं आपके जैसा फिट कैसे रहे. मैंने तोंद बड़ी मेहनत से बनाई है, ठीक है, खा पी के नहीं काम करके. अब 50 साल का होने जा रहा हूं, तो इसीलिए हाँ ये जरूर है कि 9 घंटे पढ़ा जरूर लेता हूं, वो फिटनेस लेवल तो है. रमेश सिंह सर की किताब मत पढ़ो इंडियन इकोनॉमी के लिए, अतुल प्रकाश, खतरनाक है वो ऑप्शनल के लिए नहीं है, वो पक्का डुबा देगी तुम्हें. सो बस बच के रहना उस पर. ओके, मैं 1 सेकंड बस ले रहा हूं. I'll come up. The next batch is now. Adya, I take only 1 batch in a year. We will re-announce the batch sometimes in August, September 2nd week, but this will be the same batch. We will not be taking any new batch at all. Yes, it is manageable, Anu. Definitely manageable along with the preparation. IES and job is easily manageable. Don't worry at all. Yes, Shresht, you can do that. If you want to attend it offline on Saturdays, we will allow you. Don't worry. Yes. BA Economics plus History, ठीक है? हाँ, ठीक है. पढ़ने में अच्छा क्या लगता है तुम्हें? क्या पढ़ते हुए लगता है कि थोड़ा और पढ़ लेते 5 मिनट? तो फिर इकोनॉमिक्स ही पढ़ना चाहिए. अगर नहीं लोगे ना तो इट्स विल लाइक मैरिंग समबडी एल्स व्हाइल फॉलिंग इन लव विद समबडी एल्स. ठीक है, पढ़ने में जो अच्छा लगता है उससे प्यार करते हो. जिससे प्यार करते हैं उसके साथ लगता है ना 5 मिनट और रह लेते. समझ रहे हो? तो वो करना चाहिए. वही मैं तुम्हें कह रहा हूं कि जो चीज हमें पढ़ते हुए अट्रैक्ट करती है. स्कोर का कारण कभी कभी ये भी होता है कि पढ़ाने वाले कैसे हैं. अब तुम कितने भी अच्छे रहो, अगर मैं नहीं हूं ठीक तो तुम्हारे नंबर डुबा के ही मानूंगा. ठीक है, तो वो एक जरूरी है. दूसरा है कि पढ़ाने वालों ने हमें पेपर के हिसाब से पढ़ाया या नहीं, ये भी बहुत जरूरी होता है. एक है कि मैं आपको, ये मैं हमेशा मजाक में बोलता हूं, कोई बोलते हैं वो अच्छा पढ़ाते हैं. अब मैं तुम्हें अगर अभी ये लिख के दिखाऊं, बेटा 1 + 2 3, देखो 1 2 3 ऐड हो गया ना, सब अच्छा पढ़ा दिया. ठीक है, लेकिन ये तो आएगा नहीं पेपर में. समझ रहे हो? तो गुड टीचर्स आर नॉट दोज हु टीच सिंपल. गुड टीचर्स आर दोज हु सिंप्लीफाई द टफ थिंग्स. कि जब गुड टीचर्स पढ़ाते हैं तो लगता है ये तो सब समझ में आ रहा है. जब खुद बैठते हैं तो लगता है कुछ बात बोल रहे थे वहां, तो फिर से देखना पड़ेगा एक बार. सो दैट इज व्हाट गुड टीचर्स डू. दे टीच थिंग्स सिंप्लीफाइंग देम, सिंप्लीफाई इट फॉर यू. तो मार्क्स के लिए वजह से मत डिसाइड करो. जैसा मैंने कहा, जो पढ़ने में हमें अच्छा लगता है दो पेज और पढ़ना चाहिए, थोड़ा और इंटरेस्ट लें. हमेशा ऑप्शनल, देखो ऑप्शनल चूज करने के 3 क्राइटेरिया है मेरे हिसाब से. नंबर 1, जो मैंने तुमसे पूछा कि अच्छा क्या लगता है, कहां हमें लगता है ईगरनेस होती है, थोड़ा और देखते क्या है इसके अंदर. नंबर 2, वेयर विल आई गेट अ गुड मेंटोर. एंड अ गुड मेंटोर अगेन इज नॉट समवन, जैसे ये जो आपको रिजल्ट्स मैंने दिए, ये तो पास्ट ईयर तक के रिजल्ट है ना. अब इस साल मेरा दिमाग खराब हो जाए तो मैं जनरली इन रिजल्ट्स के फेवर में नहीं होता. तो गुड मेंटोर कौन है भाई? मुझसे बात करने को हमेशा रेडी है या नहीं, मेरे डाउट सॉल्व करेंगे या नहीं रात के 1 बजे भी, कोर्स खत्म होने के बाद भी मुझे पहचानेंगे या नहीं लगातार. ये गुड मेंटोर्स होते हैं. और जो भी मेंटोर अच्छे से मेंटोरिंग करना चाहते हैं वो यही करना चाहते हैं. दे वांट टू मेक श्योर ऑल माय स्टूडेंट्स क्वालिफाई. और तीसरा क्राइटेरिया होता है मटेरियल कितने अवेलेबल है. विल आई बी एबल टू लर्न दोज मटेरियल. बिकॉज व्हेन इट सेज सम ऑप्शनल इज स्कोरिंग, सम इज नॉट स्कोरिंग, that's completely a rubbish. I have seen people scoring 110, 105 out of 500 even in maths optional, and I have seen people scoring 335 in economics optional, even a 342 in sociology optional. So which optional is scoring, which is not scoring is hogwash. Which can you make scoring depends on what you like sitting down with. तभी मैंने कहा इंडियन इकोनॉमी के डिस्कशन अच्छे लगने चाहिए, कि ये ना हो कि टीचर डिस्कशन कर रहे लग रहा है हे भगवान क्यों इन्फ्लेशन नहीं जानना मुझे. तो अगर वो ख्याल आता है मन में तो गड़बड़ है. एंड सेकेंड, सिमिलरली जब मैं ग्राफ्स डिस्कस कर रहा हूं, एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूं, तो अच्छा लगना चाहिए वो डिस्कशन में. ऑप्शनल की यही चॉइस होती है. मैंने क्यों मैरिज से कंपेयर किया? आपको लाइफ के कम से कम 2 साल बिताने हैं उसके साथ, कम से कम. पहले अटेम्प्ट में क्वालिफाई कर गए तो भी, बिकॉज 1 year यू विल प्रिपेयर एंड 1 year यू विल राइट द एग्जाम. So 2 years definitely with this subject. So you got to be confident that okay, I like this subject, the teacher looks compatible, the teacher answers question, the teacher doesn't insult me, the teacher doesn't talk nonsense, talks sense on economics in the class or any subject that the teacher is teaching. All that if it is happening, you are fair enough. You're doing it. You know, you will do it well. But if that is not happening, then it's a trouble. तो ऑप्शनल हमेशा वैसे वे करके चूज करना चाहिए. दूसरा, इकोनॉमिक्स के साथ मैं एक और सजेशन देता हूं. जैसे तुम्हारे पास ग्रेजुएशन की डिग्री है, आप ऑप्शनल की तैयारी करिए. जो भी लोग ग्रेजुएशन की डिग्री रखते हो और तुम्हारा यूपीएससी ही मेन एम है, अगर डू योर ऑप्शनल प्रिपरेशन एंड अलॉन्ग विद दैट आफ्टर अ ईयर, गॉड फॉरबिड उसकी नौबत आए, बट अगर नौबत आती है तो इग्नू में एडमिशन लेके एमए इकोनॉमिक्स कर लो. यू विल हैव एमए इकोनॉमिक्स, यू विल बी एलिजिबल फॉर आरबीआई ग्रेड बी डीईपीआर एंड इकोनॉमिक सर्विसेज. Automatically there is economic services is a group A exam. I rank it as good as an IRS or any such level, because you get all such perks and benefits plus posting in Delhi or capital of the state gives you good enough result. So economics gives you that push also कि तुम्हें बस इग्नू से मास्टर्स करना है. मैं ये भी अकोमोडेट करता हूं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को, और आप मुझे यूट्यूब पे हूं, रिकॉर्डेड हूं, दैट आप आज मास्टर्स अगर नहीं भी हैं, आप 2 साल बाद मास्टर्स करिए और बोलिए सर मुझे आईईएस वाली क्लास फिर से करनी है। मैं आपके ही कोर्स का स्टूडेंट था, उस वक्त इकोनॉमिक सर्विसेज की क्लास नहीं की थी क्योंकि मैंने मास्टर्स नहीं था। अब मैं मास्टर्स हूं और इकोनॉमिक सर्विसेज की क्लास फिर से करना चाहता हूं। हम आपको एक्सेसिबिलिटी दे देंगे कि आप आइए और वो क्लास करिए। एवरी ईयर when we take our students, we keep 15-20% of our seats free in this room so that past year students can be accommodated. आपका कभी मान लीजिए इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमिक्स छूट गया था, तबियत खराब हो गई थी, अब कहते सर हमें अगले बैच के साथ करवा दीजिए, मैं फिर से करना चाहता हूं, आप आइए कर लीजिए, हम नहीं रोकते आपको वो करने से। इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट दैट सपोर्ट हैज टू बी ट्रेमेंडस एंड कंप्लीट for everyone who wants to write this. So that ways I can tell you that we will not be found wanting. That's a culture at NEXT IAS. It's not only that in economics I do it, we do it at NEXT IAS. It's a culture we have developed that to make sure that if a student needs support, even 2-3 साल बाद अगर आपको लगता है कि सर भूल गए सब कुछ, कहीं और चले गए थे जीवन में, अब वापस यूपीएससी करना चाहते हैं, we charge 50% and let you do the whole course again. वो 50% भी आपसे इसलिए लेना पड़ता है क्योंकि आप इकोनॉमिक्स के स्टूडेंट हैं, आपको पता है समथिंग इज कॉल्ड कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, वो मुझे आपसे ही रिकवर करना पड़ेगा। सब्सिडाइज करूंगा तो नेक्स्ट आईएएस बैठ जाएगा, मैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया नहीं हूं। सो आई कांट टैक्स टू पे द सब्सिडी, आई विल हैव टू कलेक्ट मनी फ्रॉम यू टू पे इट बैक। अगर मैं गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया होता तो मुझे चिंता नहीं होती, पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट पे 53% का टैक्स लगा देता, 8 साल में 25 लाख करोड़ कलेक्ट करता और फिर बोलता अब लो ये सब्सिडी, तो वो कर सकते थे। आ जाओ कम। सो दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू कैन कीप इन माइंड, बट मेरा ख्याल रहेगा कि इकोनॉमिक्स लोग पढ़ो, तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा रहेगा, तुम प्यार तो उसी को करते हो, सो गो दैट साइड, इट विल हेल्प, यू नो। Yeah, so don't worry at all, Malvika. It happens to all of us. I'm answering a question that I'm an economics student, but my base is weak, and only I have a degree to certify. So will I be good enough? Completely. As I told you, when I teach you, I believe you have done 12th standard and you have read the 12th standard books. Sometimes it can get boring. I agree. You will think also, why is sir going into so much depth? But believe me, that's a better thing to assume than to assume that you already know and then I start rushing with things. So we will be covering you completely. Just one thing, when it comes to paper 2, the mentorship program that I will give you, apart from class discussion, will cover close to around 200 questions. Those 200 questions you should do very well, and I will give you the answer, of course, don't worry, it's not only the questions, we'll give you the answer, but those 200 questions should be done very well so that we are certain about any possible thing that they can put for us. Majorly those 200 questions will be about some extra questions, past year paper discussions, approach of a question, how you should write. So from this batch, I'm introducing that mentorship program to make sure that your writing ability becomes much better. And we will also tell you how to approach economic survey, budget, using the past year economic survey discussions. कि आप economic survey में ये पढ़ा रहा हूँ, तो मैं आपको homework दे दूंगा कि तुम ये पढ़कर आना, फिर तुम्हें guide कर दूंगा क्लास में कि उस economic survey से तुम्हें क्या pick करना था पढ़ते हुए. So that will help you in planning your discussions much better, because जो भी मैं पिछले बैच तक से सीखता हूँ वो अगले बैच पे इंप्लीमेंट कर देता हूँ. तो मुझे लगा कि इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में डिस्कस तो कर लेता हूँ, बजट भी, पर बहुत लोग देखते ही नहीं उसे, या देखते भी तो उनको समझ ही नहीं आता कि अब यहाँ से पिक क्या करें. सो आई विल टीच यू दैट हाउ यू शुड पिक दैट एंड अप्लाई इट इन योर आंसर्स. And plus, whether it is Niti Aayog papers, Ministry of Finance papers, RBI, research papers, all that I keep reading because research is my job. Apart from teaching you, I run a company where I do my research. So all that I keep reading and I keep sharing in the class. So again, you don't have to worry about reading multiple things. That's my job. I'll read, share. But you just have to make sure, as I said, make a column and keep writing things that I speak in the class. वो हर topic पे लिख लोगे तो तुम्हारे पास अपने आप paper 2 काफी अच्छा prepare हो जाएगा. But you will be through on that. Yes, I had a hand raised, I thought. No, I'm hallucinating these days. Okay. मेरा आजकल उम्र के साथ लगता है hallucination, मुझे लगा आप में से किसी ने हाथ खड़ा किया था. Yes, it will include IES test series also. I've already given you the scheduled TARs. The IES test series will begin in February, will go on till May. But the course will include IES test series also. No Vaishnavi, you don't have to buy standard books. The notes will be sufficient. For GS also. Yes. If there is anything that comes to your mind, you can ask me. Otherwise, मैं आपको 2 और बातें important बताऊंगा. एक, अगर तुम economics optional लेने की सोचते हो, तो डिस्कशंस शुरू करो अपने दिमाग में, किसी और से नहीं, किसी और से डिस्कशन फ्यूटाइल होता है. अपने दिमाग में about certain events in Indian economy and try thinking on your own. For example, in unemployment in India. For example, how can poverty be removed in India? You don't have to discuss it with 10 people. Think on your own, discuss, check what you would do about it. Say for example, is India having inequality or not having inequality? Those discussions you just do mentally. You don't have to again read a lot or think a lot. Just do mentally कि तुम क्या सोचते हो, क्या करते हो. तो जैसे तुम वो सोचोगे, then when I will talk to you in the classroom, it will look more familiar to you that okay, this is what I had thought over, this is what sir has to say on it. And that actually helps in answer writing later on. So let your own brain, I'll make it think, don't worry. मैं आपको बिल्कुल रटा रटवा के नहीं पढ़ाता. बहुत सारे सवाल करता हूँ क्लास में, पूछता हूँ ये कैसे होगा, ये क्या होगा. तो आपको सोचने को तो मैं थोड़ा पुश करूंगा ही, but it is important that you start thinking on your own. There's one more thing. When we share the notes with you, we share the notes with you with every module starting. Like say from 24th, if we are starting with India after 47, then we will share the notes of India after 47 with you at that time. And we will not share micro and macro because we keep updating them. So then again, when I'm starting micro, I'll share the notes of micro with you. Online people will get the notes uploaded in the PDF section of Next IAS app. So you will be able to get that. But we will share the notes in that manner. Alright, so we won't share the entire notes all together because that's not useful. I keep changing the notes many times, removing something from the notes, adding something into it to make sure that when you appear for exam, assuming say you are appearing 2026, then it is fully well in connect with you. If I make any change in the notes any particular year, I will share it with you even after the course is over. So we will definitely do that. Like for that you don't have to worry. Yes. If there is nothing else, then we will enjoy our company. हाँ हाँ बोलो, मैं एक सेकंड और लूंगा. आपके एक दोस्त एक और बात पूछ रहे हैं. Well, you will feel underconfident till you don't practice well, Gopal, and we can give you that. You are right in your assessment. I agree with you, Gopal. Perfect, Santosh. Yes, there is another thing. Till how long will you have access to batch? So just think, remember this. Even offline people plus online people, the accessibility to batch will be, suppose we get over with the batch IES course in February, then the batch will remain accessible for 1 more month, that is till March, for both offline and online people. Plus after prelims, we make the batch accessible for 1 more month. You understand that after the prelims gets over, like this year it got over on 26th May, we made the batch available till 30th June. Then I got messages, sir, we are not fully complete, which worried me also because if the batch begins on, last batch had started on 7th August. So if the batch begins on 7th August and people are still not complete till 31st, till 30th June, it worries me कि 10 महीने में तुम कोर्स कैसे नहीं खत्म कर पाओगे. ये मत होने देना. पंचवर्षीय कार्यक्रम नहीं बनाएंगे. मैं खत्म करूं, आप भी खत्म करिए. आप में से कुछ लोग वर्किंग हो सकते हैं, स्पेशली ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स. तो अगर वर्किंग हो तो भी क्या करो, वीकेंड पे खत्म कर लो. बट डू नॉट लेट द कोर्स ड्रैग. इट्स एन अनफॉर्चुनेट ड्रैग. इट विल ओनली ट्रबल यू. सो डू नॉट लेट इट ड्रैग. जितना खींचोगे उतना खींचेगा. यू नो, डोंट डू दैट. मैं कभी कभी कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट्स को भी देखता हूँ, बोलते हैं 3 साल के लिए आपको कोर्स दे रहे हैं. मतलब उनको कॉन्फिडेंस है कि जैसा वो पढ़ा रहे हैं 3 साल तो आपका क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं होगा, उसके बाद ही कुछ हो सकता है. मैं मानता हूं कि नहीं, जैसा हम आपको पढ़ा रहे हैं उसमें आपका क्वालिफिकेशन हो जाना चाहिए. सो इन दैट केस वी आर विलिंग टू गिव यू एक्सेसिबिलिटी. अगेन आई रिपीट, whenever the course gets over, 1 month till after that, you will have time to finish the course. And then again after prelims, we'll give you 1 month of accessibility to the course. So you will have good enough accessibility. My suggestion still will be, try finishing it with me so that you have enough time to revise and do things up. तुम्हारा एक सवाल. देखो, अगर इकोनॉमिक्स है तो इकोनॉमिक्स छोड़ते नहीं इंटरव्यू बोर्ड वाले. इकोनॉमिक्स का सवाल तो उनसे भी पूछा जाता है जो मैथ्स के ऑप्शनल वाले हैं. इकोनॉमिक्स इज दैट सब्जेक्ट टुडे इन द वर्ल्ड. यू नो, अभी मेरे छोटे बेटे हैं 12th में. बड़े बेटे तो आप ही लोगों के साथ हैं, आपसे थोड़े बड़े होंगे शायद, वो ग्रेजुएशन पास कर चुके हैं, अब मास्टर्स कर रहे हैं. तो वो 12th में है, तो उन्होंने पूछा मैं कौन सा सब्जेक्ट लूँ. मैंने कहा तुम्हें क्या मन कर रहा है. बोले इकोनॉमिक्स लेना चाहता हूँ. मैंने कहा एक घर में बहुत सारे हैं, क्या करोगे लेकर. बोले नहीं फिर भी लेना चाहता हूँ. मैंने कहा क्यों लेना चाहते हो. बोले तुमने ठीक कहा था. मैंने उसको बहुत पहले बचपन में कहा था. उन्होंने कहा ऐसा सब्जेक्ट पढ़ो जो बाकियों को नहीं आता है. तो वो ज्यादा काम आ जाता है। बट उससे तो खैर मैंने मजाक में कहा था, बट इंटरव्यू बोर्ड को पता है दैट मेजॉरिटी पीपल डोंट नो वेरी गुड इकोनॉमिक्स। तो तुम किसी भी बैकग्राउंड से हो, इकोनॉमिक्स का सवाल तो पीछे आएगा ही। अगर तुम इकोनॉमिक्स ऑप्शनल बैकग्राउंड से हो तब तो इंटरव्यू विल हैव अ लॉट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स, एंड आई थिंक दैट ऑलवेज प्लीजेस मी। आई मीन आई सी माई कैंडिडेट्स, इस साल अभिषेक के 200 प्लस थे या श्री सुसत के 200 प्लस थे। सो आई सी मेनी ऑफ माई स्टूडेंट्स गेटिंग 200 प्लस इन इंटरव्यू, मेनली बिकॉज आई थिंक इकोनॉमिक्स कम्स टू द रेस्क्यू, that you get good enough marks in that then. So I think अगर इकोनॉमिक्स ऑप्शनल है तो इकोनॉमिक्स के आसपास तो बहुत सवाल होंगे। बट ऑफ कोर्स अगर तुम हिस्ट्री है तुम्हारे ग्रेजुएशन में तो इट्स लाइक वही कि अगर तुम हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल भी ले लो तो इकोनॉमिक्स पीछा नहीं छोड़ेगा, इकोनॉमिक्स ऑप्शनल भी लोगे तो इकोनॉमिक हिस्ट्री के सवाल आएंगे जरूर। बट डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, वी प्रिपेयर यू फॉर ऑल दैट। उसकी प्रिपरेशन तो हम लोग कर नहीं, स्ट्रॉन्ग तुम्हें अपना पूरा डैफ ही करना पड़ेगा। अगर मान लो पापा का जन्म छत्तीसगढ़ में हुआ तो फिर छत्तीसगढ़ भी पूरा पढ़ना पड़ेगा। इंटरव्यू में तो ये सब करना पड़ता है। बाई चांस पापा छत्तीसगढ़ से हुए और मम्मी मथुरा से हुई तो यूपी भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा, छत्तीसगढ़ भी पढ़ना पड़ेगा। इंटरव्यू तो पूछो मत, यूपीएससी का इंटरव्यू इसीलिए तो 2 महीने देते हैं तैयारी करने को कि पहले तुम खुद को तैयार तो कर लो, फिर देखो हम तुम्हारे साथ क्या करेंगे। बट डोंट वरी, उसकी चिंता मत करो। whichever background you are from, they will generally stick to that। हाँ कुछ क्वेश्चंस हो सकते हैं बट इंटरव्यू में कभी भी उनका दिमाग ये नहीं होता कि तुम फैक्चुअल आंसर करो। उनके मन में ये होता है कि तुम्हारी पर्सनैलिटी क्या है। दे आर नॉट बॉदर्ड अबाउट हाउ मेनी, आई मीन देयर हैव बीन स्टूडेंट, लास्ट ईयर मेरी एक स्टूडेंट थी, उन्होंने 5 क्वेश्चन के जवाब में बोला आई डोंट नो, 5 questions, and she still got 192 in interview. So it is how you say I don't know, how you perform after that, even that matters. तो इंटरव्यू की चिंता मत करो, वो तो बहुत मतलब डिफरेंटली मैनेज्ड एग्जाम है। All right, and if you have any doubts left over which doesn't strike you now and maybe it strikes you long later, then this is my Telegram ID. I always believe connecting, so it is this, it's VJ1976. You want, you can always connect on Telegram any point of time. We are beginning with the current batch from 24th July, and as I said, we will try finishing it by 24th December, plus 5 days maybe if needed. इसमें नहीं मैसेजेस सारे आते हैं मेरे पास, मैंने तो कुछ प्राइवेसी सेटिंग चेंज नहीं की है। मुझे एक भूत प्रेत भेज के देखो टेलीग्राम पे, VJ1976, ठीक है, चलो भेजना, अभी क्लास के बाद देख लेना, डोंट वरी। आई मीन यस हाँ, देखो अगर मान लो जैसे तुम्हारा एग्जाम चल रहा है, ठीक है, या वर्किंग पर्सन हो और बिजी हो, तो उसमें हम लोग ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी रख सकते हैं कि कभी किसी वीकेंड पे जरूरत पड़ी तो हम प्रोवाइड कर देंगे तुम्हें ऑन आस्किंग फॉर इट, या कभी ईश्वर ना करे कभी तबीयत खराब हो गई अगर तुम नहीं देख पाए, बिल्कुल वी विल गिव यू एक्सेसिबिलिटी टू दैट, ठीक है। बट मेरा एक सजेशन है वहां दैट ट्राई फिनिशिंग इट नाउ। देखो विद गॉड्स ग्रेस यू गाइज आर नॉट कॉमर्स एनी मोर फॉर मी। मेरा ज्यादा कंसर्न ये रहता है कि तुम क्वालिफाई कैसे करवाएं तुम्हें। बिलीव मी, जब तक तुम रोज के रोज नहीं पढ़ोगे इस एग्जाम में, क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं हो सकती, और जितना डिले करोगे उतना कठिनाई है। मैंने ये 3 दिन पिछले साल तक जैसे हम दे देते थे ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स को, फिर मैंने देखा, मैंने यही बोला, सोचो 7th August वी स्टार्ट द बैच, 30th June आई एम सेइंग आई एम गेटिंग द कोर्स डन विथ, एंड स्टिल पीपल आर सेइंग सर 7 days प्लीज। आई एक्सटेंडेड इट टिल अनदर 15 days, अभी भी 15 जुलाई तक फिर कोर्स रखा, फिर भी 4-5 लोगों का मैसेज आया सर 10 दिन और मिलेंगे क्या। ये कंप्लेसेंसी नहीं चाहता हूं मेरे बच्चों को हो, तुम मेरे बच्चे ही हो, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है, तो एक चाहता ही नहीं हूं। थोड़ा धक्का खाना पड़ेगा, जबरदस्ती करनी पड़ेगी, बट बिना जबरदस्ती के ठीक हुआ कौन आज तक? You know, it's always that. I mean, all of us do things only when we are put under a time schedule. So this purpose is only time schedule, but no hard and fast thing. अगर कोई इमरजेंसी आ गई, कोई दिक्कत आ गई, तुम्हें एक्सेसिबिलिटी चाहिए होगी अगर for a couple of days, we are happy giving it. I mean, it is not that we will tell you that no, we are not giving it to you. We'll give it to you. But कोशिश यही रखना कि उसी दिन के उस दिन चीजें खत्म हो जाएं। Dipanshu, just leave a message for me on Telegram, because it never happens that people are stopped from meeting me, you know. So just leave a message. Never. In fact, today also before your class I was meeting 5-6 people only for their test series. So just let me know when you were stopped and who stopped you, because nobody will stop you at Next IAS, never. Even for test series, nobody will stop you. If you are a part of Next IAS and a test series student, nobody will stop you. If you had taken test series last year and you wanted to get papers checked this year, then you can be stopped for a simple reason that I will be busy with other students. So then it can happen only after the mains exam get over. But if you are a current year student, you will never, I mean for test series also, you will never be asked not to. Yeah, you can ask general doubts also, Vaishnavi, that's not a problem at all. Answer writing will be every weekend, Raghav, and then with the mentorship program. Online masters is valid for IES, Nirav. Okay, then we will keep it till there today. And in case you have any doubts, you can connect with me on Telegram. I'll see you guys soon then. Prepare well. तुम choose करो या ना करो economics optional. अगर तुम्हें doubt है तो भी तुम मुझे वैसे भी पूछ सकते हो economics के बारे में. Feel good and keep preparing well. Thanks a lot, all of you. Hope to see you all then. Thank you. Bye bye. PYQ will be given to you, Ayush. We will give you PYQ's model answers, so you don't have to get them evaluated. You can just see the model answers and they will be evaluated. Perfect, Raghav. We'll see you too. Thank you. All right. Those of you who are done can leave. मैं तो खड़ा रहता हूँ, किसी के doubts हैं तो मुझसे पूछ लेंगे. Thank you, Vaishnavi. So दीपांशु, तुम मुझसे आकर मिल लो नेक्स्ट आईएएस पे वेडनेसडे को 2:30 पर या थर्सडे को 2:30 पर, जिस भी दिन तुम्हें सुटेबल हो. लेट्स सी हु स्टॉप्ड यू. क्लास टाइमिंग्स आर 3 to 5:30, Anand. See you all then. Thank you. So everybody online, I hope to see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Vinayak, online students can come offline for doubts, no restriction.